Hi there, thanks for tuning into Album ReBrews. Please note, we do drink while recording this podcast, and if you choose to drink along at home, we encourage you to do so responsibly. Enjoy the episode. Cheers.
Hey everybody, welcome to Album ReBrews, the only music podcast. That's the bit. I am your sober sitter on this week's descent into microtonal madness. My name is Logan.
I'm the banana peel that you slip on for comedic effect. My name is Sarah.
I am your boy, little Zaccy Half-Sharp. Coming in with this great microtonal record. Before we start, I did want to make a PSA to our listeners at home. I think honesty is really important between a podcast co-host and their listener. And I just wanted to talk about this change that's happened since the last episode. And I just wanted to inform the listeners that I do have a mustache now. It's not a great mustache. It's not really a good mustache, but it is my mustache. So, yeah, just when you think of me with that good grin and a little mustache.
Thank you for speaking your truth. In the same vein, I want to inform the listeners at home that I have started growing a soul patch. At this point, it's microscopic, still in the early stages, but I do intend on finishing out this garbage fire of a year, 2020, with a soul patch.
I think that's the only way to finish 2020.
Yeah.
If you did 2020 without a soul patch, what were you even doing?
In the spirit of talking about our recent facial hair developments, I did shave my mustache off, and it felt wrong.
You shaved it since I saw you last and grew it back already?
I mean, it's not what it once was.
That's true. It is. It's still good though.
I miss
it.
It's even. I got like imposter syndrome. I shaved my mustache and I was like, I don't recognize
Who
the man.
am I?
I'm a shell of the person I used to be.
Oh Lord.
Well, I mean, that's just how I feel.
Zach, what are we listening to this week?
Today we're gonna do or this bi-week, since we do bi-weekly, bi-monthly. Is it bi-weekly?
I listened to them the day up.
Yeah, me too.
Well, we can't say this week because our listeners are doing.
Week.
We're only hearing an episode every 2 weeks.
Today we are what?
This time around.
This bi-monthly episode.
This fortnight.
Thank you.
Oh, dude, I fucking love that game.
Wait, is a fortnight 14 days? Hold
Yep.
up.
Sure is.
This fortnight.
Establishing ourselves once again as the only music podcast for gamers.
We have to change all our social media to new episodes fortnightly. Let's figure out what album we're doing.
Let's do a clean
They
cut
already
of that.
know. They already know what album it is. They saw the title and they clicked on it.
Zach,
we don't have to play coy.
Zach, you got to choose this week. Tell us.
We're doing "Flying Microtonal Banana" by King Gizz and the Lizard Wizard. One of my all-time favorite bands.
Gesundheit.
Exactly. And we're pairing it today with the FS Pilsner. And I had to go to Des Plaines today, where the Geck tree is, to pick up this beer because it's hard to get. It's from Turkey. Let me read about it. It's the largest producer of beer in Turkey, with approximately 80% of the market. Their main line is called the FS Pilsner. After the terrific, wow, I am so jittered up from that monster last episode. I can't.
We just like an hour ago finished recording our Geck ep. Where we all had a 16-ounce monster apiece, and we had to decompress for a while.
Very different energy from our normal podcast.
Red leather, yellow leather. I can't even do. Okay, here we go. Blah, 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 blah. After the Turkish name for the ancient city Efres near Izmir Brewery. And I paired that because they are both from Turkey, which is the guitar that Stu McKenzie plays on this record. Is a handmade guitar, and I'll show you guys the picture of it.
I like this. This is good audio content.
Oh, look, yeah.
That looks great.
We can see it. It's a bright yellow guitar.
Yes.
And someone made it for him and put the microtones in it. And it's built very similar to, I'm going to butcher this word, a balama. Beglama, which is a...
Hold on, Zach. I know you're looking at the word right now, but that second letter is an A.
That's what I said, right?
No.
What did I say?
E.
Oh.
Zach, I'm worried that you're like functionally illiterate.
All vowels are just interchangeable in my version of English.
Are you Charlie from It's Always Sunny? Is this going to kind of be the rest of the podcast? Is we're like... We're just getting Zach to
I don't know if
he's
that's right, but I
illiterate.
don't know enough now to dispute it. Let's you guys want to cheers?
Yeah,
Here's a
let's
taster?
cheers.
Yeah.
Clinky clank.
Clinky dink. Cheers, dudes. Ooh,
It's supposed to have crisp, floral, grassy, and biscuity flavors.
definitely
Describe
biscuity.
it in depth for me because the doctor still said I'm not allowed to drink or else I'll die.
Okay,
It tastes like a Heineken.
Yeah, I don't know if my taste buds are just messed up, but I work at a coffee shop and I have to like dial in espresso all the time, make sure it's tasting good. And for some reason, I taste tomato like all the time.
In
And
espressos?
In espresso. And this to me, I'm going to take another sip.
Is it like the acidic-ness?
Maybe. There's like a tang that to me tastes like tomato soup. And I'll get like kind of a cherry tomato or sometimes a celery from
Can't
espresso.
stop tasting tomato now.
Right? It tastes like tomato soup. Log, would you like to try a sip?
I'll try a little sip.
Now I want like a grilled cheese.
Guys, I don't feel so good. It does have a tomatoey aftertaste.
Yeah.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. Are you guys familiar with King Gizz at all?
Not at all. This
Not-
was the first time I ever sat down to listen to a full album.
They
Same here.
are Australian psych rock. They have got like 15 albums out since their debut in like 2011, I think. Which is a lot of albums. This is a burpee beer too.
Oh boy.
So what I wanted to do is play a quick game to introduce the band a little bit
Ooh,
and
okay.
their
That
albums.
sounds fun.
I like this.
It's similar to Two Truths and a Lie, but this game is called Two Concept Albums and a Lie.
Yes.
Cool.
So it's gonna be, I'm gonna read you 3 concept albums. One of them is going to be made up, and you have to try to guess which one that is. The punishment for getting it wrong is I'm gonna explain to you the album in excruciating detail.
I like that the punishment is listening to a white man explain something.
That's
Let's get started.
okay.
Logan,
So
do not look at his screen.
I'm not. I'm looking at his face. We are on the same side of the table, but I will position myself so that I can't cheat.
all right.
I don't
So
want to be at a disadvantage. Wait. Are we on a team again?
We're always on a team.
Yeah,
Our
you guys
goal
are
is
always
to
on a
destroy
team.
Zach.
yeah. This is a folk album done with all acoustic instruments. This is a psychedelic Western audiobook describing the stories of soldiers and Native Americans. This is a tale of a happy sea turtle off the coast of Western Australia. Two truths and a lie.
Okay, Happy Sea Turtle sounds too on the nose to be
I agree.
I feel like that's actually a concept album.
Could you repeat the first one?
A folk album done with all acoustic instruments.
I mean, isn't that every folk album?
That's
that
not really
doesn't sound like a
concept.
concept.
I think that's the lie.
That is actually Paper Mache Dream Balloon. Came out November 13, 2015.
You can't just describe a folk album and then say it's a concept album because is the concept that they only use acoustic instruments?
Yeah, well, they put out like a whole bunch of psych rock albums and then did a pure acoustic album. Like that's
Oh, these are all King Gizzard.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you should. We don't know the names of many King Gizzard albums. I think it would be okay if you said the names of the albums.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
Because that would be tricky. Wait, do you have made up King Gizzard album names?
I kind of did like sparse notes where I was just going to ad lib the made up one anyways.
Okay.
So I can ad lib a made up.
Ad-lib a made-up name and see if we have any chance of getting it right.
So yeah, that's all acoustic albums or acoustic instruments. And it's very mellow, defuzzed, and just kind of nice.
Which was the fake one?
The Tale of Happy Sea Turtles off the coast of Western
Fuck
Australia.
you, Logan.
It sounded too easy.
Yeah.
That one sounded real.
Damn it. Okay, next.
Nonagon Infinity, the world's first continuous looping album, never ending. All the songs mingle. Quarters, 4 10-minute songs. Each song's the same length as the next. And then an album of a single note held for a very long time. Changes once per song called Tone.
You know what? I did actually lie because I know that Nana got Infinity Quarters.
We were just talking about that.
I brought that one. That was an easy
that
one.
one's also on the table.
So either Quarters or Tone.
Oh, Quarters is a King Gizz album. I lied. I did know that one. Yeah.
All right, so it's Tone.
I shouldn't have put those two together.
That's okay. I wouldn't put it past him to like have written. I will not lie to you anymore, though. Those are the two that I know.
This is a 3-chapter sci-fi epic called Murder of the Universe, describing how the universe eventually will end.
Okay.
This is a jazz fusion combination record called Sketches of Brunswick East. This is a macrotonal album using intervals larger than an octave called Mac.
Okay, this one's actually tricky. I want to say the macrotonal one is the lie.
I'm gonna go with you on... What was the first one again?
A 3-chapter sci-fi epic describing the eventual end of the universe.
And what was that called?
Murder of the Universe.
I don't... See, the thing is, I know enough about music to have never heard of macrotones. I feel like that's a lie.
Then work.
The fact that you had to think about it makes me really happy because that was supposed to be the easy one.
Here's the thing is I know next to nothing about King Gizzard, and B, am extremely gullible. So this is a real crapshoot for me.
Yeah, both of those are incredible concept albums. Murder of the Universe is 21 tracks.
Damn.
And there's like little narrations and telling the story. Sketches of Brunswick East is a jazz album with Mild High Club. Do you guys know Mild High Club?
No.
I've heard of them.
They're pretty good. I like their name a lot because it's Mild High Club. Like they're just kind of a little high.
Just a couple tokes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty good. You guys got 2 out of 3?
Not too shabby.
I still explain the albums too, even though you got it right.
Damn it.
That's the real trick.
Should we get into this?
Yeah, let's hop right into it.
I was sitting down for the first time to listen to this yesterday. I had listened to 1,000 Gex by 100 Gex and then immediately went to listen to this.
Yeah, we did a doozy
and
of 2 albums.
the duality there, because 100 Gex moves so quickly. It's like a bunch of little tiny snacks. And this, I just felt like I was listening to music in slow motion, because the first track is almost 8 minutes long. And I found myself like getting impatient with it. I was like, no, this can't be longer than 2 minutes. It can't be.
Yeah, this one really draws on. 7-minute intro is quite like the intro to an album, right? I wanted to talk a little bit about microtones. Do you guys know what microtones are?
Log does. I think you've explained it a little bit to me. It's not
the opposite of a macrotone.
That's not real. So it's real.
It is real, yeah.
Okay.
In a lot of Eastern and kind of like Mediterranean area type music use microtones. That's why we picked this Pilsner, because it's from Turkey.
Love that.
And so in Western music, we use 12-tone equal temperament, which is just, what's the best way to describe
like
that, Logan?
an octave from one pitch to the same pitch, an octave up. There are 12 increments.
And they're all equally spaced.
Including all of the half steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
The
yeah.
sharps and the flats.
There are 12 12 hap steps within an octave.
Yeah.
But microtonal music, or at least this specific brand of microtonal
Yeah,
music.
because there's lots of different kinds. This one divides the octave in 24. So there's a half sharp and a half flat. So there's notes in between our 12 notes.
That sheet music's got to be a bitch.
If you look at the album cover, you can see what the half flats look like. For those of us listening at home, they're little flats with lines with them and hashtags
cute.
with extra
Hashtags.
lines through them.
I see.
Yeah.
I tried to play piano for a couple of years when I was like in late middle school, early high. It was like 2 years, and sight reading with just like an octave without any half steps was hard enough.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine trying to sight read something like this.
And did it sound sour to you guys? Because I've heard this album a lot, so it doesn't sound like too off-putting to me. When you listen to it, did like it sound...
It sounded a little bit villainous.
Okay.
It sounded like cowboys robbing a bank a little bit.
Okay.
I wanna pull a clip real quick.
Sure.
Can you pull up Slim Shady by Eminem?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like for people who are unfamiliar with the way that microtonal music sounds, you've probably definitely heard Slim Shady. And there's
Sorry. Sorry, I'll say what you were saying.
No, that's okay. There's like this flute melody in the song that utilizes like a microtone. Pull it up real quick.
I hear it.
Yeah, so it's got like a hypnotic kind of falling down.
Yeah.
To it.
Yeah.
Definitely feels very like Eastern music.
Yeah.
Definitely not something someone from the States would. I mean, I suppose Eminem did that, but.
Yeah. Or even like music that like slowly slides up in pitch, like you hear a lot in like electronic music. That's technically a microtone because they're playing a pitch in between as it's like sliding
it's
up.
like a gradient. Yeah.
But you don't really think of it as microtonal because it's not like a landing note like this type is.
I
just passing
appreciate.
through.
I was doing a little bit of research about this album, and all of the members like DIY had their instruments converted into microtonal instruments.
Oh, that's sick.
And Stu, the lead singer / founding member of King Gizz, was saying that he gave his band members like $200, and he was like, "Go buy like some cheap like thrift store guitars, and we're just gonna mod them." So they on their guitars didn't put in enough frets to make them true like 24 temperament because Stu was saying that he just got confused by the prospect of like having that many frets.
Yeah.
So they condensed it a little bit so that they would have enough frets to be able to write songs with microtones in them without like overwhelming themselves in the recording process.
Yeah, and if you look at the picture of the guitar, it's like 2 close frets and then 4 close frets. And I think it's supposed to mimic that ba lama a little bit, that Turkish instrument.
And I also learned that they modded a harmonica to be able to play microtones.
Yeah, they had to like reprogram their MIDI keys to play.
I just really appreciate that DIY ethic.
Yeah.
I also learned that they self-recorded this album. And an interview I was reading with Stu, he was saying that he, more than anything, just likes creating albums and releasing them. And this, I think, was the first album that they all got together to play in a room together and record. And they recorded onto a 1/2-inch reel tape machine. And when King Gizz was recording this album, they had 8 tracks to record onto and 7 members. So every member essentially got 1 track.
And 2 drummers.
And they had 2 drummers. So
I did not know that. That's wild.
Yeah, so they had to really, really condense everything and make it stupid simple. And the only effects pedal they used on this album was a wah pedal, which is super minimalist.
Yeah.
But I
that's a concept
that.
album in itself. They could have done that in regular tuning.
Like the change from 100 gecs, which is just maximalist as like overproduced as you could possibly get, to this King Gizz album where literally they just sat in a room and played a 7-minute song together and then called it a day.
Yeah, that way everyone's like grooving together at the same time. And
exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of exactly the opposite of 100 gecs.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole bunch of people just in a room playing together onto tape versus 100 gecs just being 2 folks. 2 folks across the country, like sending MP3 files to each other.
Yeah.
I think they both represent different ends of like experimental music. Like
Yeah.
the spectrum of like, we're going to explore the digital realm as far as we possibly can in 100 gecs scenario. And then in King Gizz's scenario, they're exploring like the analog realm.
And I think in both cases, it's like a whole lot of work and a whole lot of artistry for 2 very like niche markets.
Yeah.
Like the people, I mean, I suppose, Zach, you might be one of the few at the center of this Venn diagram, but the people who listen to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard and the people who listen to 100 Gex.
I feel like I
Don't
listen to a
overlap
lot of
a
music
ton.
in niches I don't belong in at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quick little cool thing about this track. It's about a rattlesnake.
The intro track.
You don't say.
Yeah, it is. He only says it 852 times. Oh, another fun fact. The last time he says rattles me, and for like 3 years, I thought he just says rattlesnake. But the last stanza, he says rattles me. Anyways, this song introduces us to the zurna, the Turkish horn.
Ah, yes.
Which is a god-awful instrument by itself.
It's really like abrasive.
Yeah. I have a little YouTube clip of just the zurna.
Oh, would you like me to play
before
it?
any Gizzard we play.
It's pretty... headphone users beware. You can tell... So the video that I've pulled up on YouTube, the name is Professional Turkish Zurna by Sala Music. And like it's in it seems to be in like a music store, and the person playing it looks to, know what they're doing, but it sounds god awful.
That's how it's
I'm so
supposed
sorry.
to sound. Yeah.
That's like the stairway to heaven of the Zurna music store. You walk in and somebody's playing that and you're just like, oh, fucking damn it.
But it's got a reed and it's really, really tight. So you gotta like just really push into it, which creates that like piercing. And then the holes in it, it's like 1 octave. You can only get 1 octave out of the horn. And the holes you half cover with your finger to get the microtones instead of the half steps.
Do you when you complete like Zurna karate, do you get the little black belt tied on the end?
Of your zurna?
You learn the Star Wars theme song on the zurna, and you get your little black piece of yarn tied to the end.
Jar Jar Banks comes and gives you a little
I will
little
say
medal.
that the zurna looks like every little horn that every like Disney movie snake charmer would play. Looks exactly like that.
Yeah.
Like picture it in your mind's eye. It's exactly what you're picturing.
But this first track, there's like I didn't know how to word this. What is this called? When the vocalist like changes who they are in the song?
Oh,
Like
I mean,
conceptually?
Yeah.
you mean like there's sort of like a persona shift?
Yeah, they're like singing
Or they
from one
change
point of view
characters?
and then they change characters. What would you call that?
Oh God, I'm not sure. Like a Jekyll and Hyde moment? I don't know.
Because for most of the song, the first like 4 minutes, he's singing like as a human, talking about the rattlesnake. And then when the Turkish horn comes in, he changes the perspective and the lyrics are from him as a snake.
Oh, so it's Animorphs. Does he sing in between it all, where he's kind of like a rattlesnake, but he has tiny little arms because they're like halfway through the Photoshop process between human and rattlesnake?
Stu McKenzie is actually just a snake person.
He's Satan before God took away his legs and turned him into a snake.
Literally, the first word of whenever he comes in with the horn is "I'm the serpent, devil's servant." So it's very obvious that he's like changing whatever that word is. We don't know what to call it.
He's changed his form.
Yeah.
He's an animorph.
But that's at 3:55. We can show the folks at home
Absolutely.
what that horn sounds like with the cool change of perspective.
God, it's like exactly at the halfway point of the song.
Yeah, I lied to you.
Weird
That's
this
not even the horn. That's the microtonal harmonica that's doubling the vocals.
Oh my gosh.
We'll hear the horn plenty more. Don't you worry. Yeah. Do you guys have any other cool things about that 7-minute intro?
No,
it's,
I can't. I just can't stop thinking about Animorphs.
It's daunting. Like, you really have to want to listen to King Gizz.
It really is.
I do skip it because I've heard it so many times.
Right.
I do skip that one.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is it not only is it long, but extremely repetitive.
It's very hypnotic. Like, I
You
think you're
know?
meant to like fall into it.
Well, another like we've talked about Up in Hudson before, but that's another like 7-minute song but I feel like one like that has a couple like acts in it where if you start to doze off or if you start to kind of get bored of the song,
it changes up a little bit.
It changes and it piques your interest again. But this one, I would imagine like driving home from work and dissociating to, and then not realizing that the song was still going.
Yeah.
You want to talk about melting?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This one's really hypnotic also. Can we just play the intro of it a little bit?
Yeah. Do you see what I said when I said like villain music?
Yeah, it does kind of sound like evil.
It sounds sinister.
A little bit about like the scale they're using. I don't know if they're using it in every song, but Stu talks in an interview about how it's like a Dorian mode, which is, do you know your modes?
Nope. No,
I meant to look it up.
I'm dumb.
There's like the major scale, and then there's the Dorian, which is built off the second of the major scale.
Right.
And then there's the DeLorean, and that's where you go back to the future.
And then there's the Mandalorian.
Uh-huh.
That's when you're in the future, but in a galaxy far away.
Right.
And so it's got
and
kind
then
of like...
there's Dory, and she has this whole thing where she can't remember anything that happened 5 minutes ago.
And then her co-hosts get mad at her, and her producers say she's problematic, and then she's not allowed to be on TV
Which
anymore.
is such a shame, because what a pioneer for gays. But you know what? Here's the thing. Queer people can be assholes, too.
Don't we know it?
But anyways, so it's a Dorian mode with a half flat 6 and a half flat second. So it's gonna sound like weird and spooky and villainous.
Yeah, definitely very spooky.
And you kind of get like that falling down feeling in this track. I feel like.
Yeah.
Your brain is the one that is doing the melting.
Do you guys know what this one's about?
No.
Tell me.
The first line is thawing ices worse than ISIS. This came out in 2017.
I'm looking at the lyrics now. Is it about global warming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I talk about a whole bunch. Fishing for Fishes, one of their albums, is a whole bunch about, like sustainability and overfishing the ocean.
I didn't realize King Gizz was so environmentally conscious.
Yeah, I think they are. A lot of their stuff talks about it.
I mean, most of their country is on fire all the time.
All the time.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the earth is melting down, our home and our playground. We won't be fit for children when our world has melted down. It's like, oh, wow. It's kind of dark and sinister, right?
Yeah.
So it is a good topic for the tone.
Next.
I am not the king of segues
That's
today.
okay. I will bear your burden.
Logan, will you give us a segue for the next song?
You know how sometimes we have potty breaks?
Yeah.
And the water in the bowl is open and recepting of your...
Don't say it.
I'm going to open a beer, just like the open waters.
I don't really have a good segue.
You know what? We have left the beach of this podcast, and now we're swimming around in open water looking for segues.
That's pretty good. Wait. Yeah. Okay. I thought the next song was about swimming, but it's not.
No, you silly goose.
No, just open water.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
Man, that was a...
This one's kind of doomy and gloomy,
That
too.
was a rough patch right there.
There is a really good, like, little shining beacon, if you will, like a lighthouse, because you're in the open water, at 424
Hell yeah,
of...
dude.
Just 424 of just the guitar and a couple other instrumentations, and you can kind of you can hear the microtones and I didn't realize you brought up all the no effect pedals, right? So that makes sense why this whole part is super clean guitar.
For the people who inevitably right now are listening to this and a lot of this musical lingo is going over your heads, I'm gonna put it in layman's terms, okay? Because I am a cute woman. And I don't mean to promote gender stereotypes, but I don't understand so much of this because I don't have a background in making music. Listen for the parts where it sounds off, where it kind of makes you feel weird. Those are the microtones I've learned. So 424?
424.
Yo!
Nice. I'm sorry.
What's up?
It's at 454.
454. For sure. Zach, I'm trying to look for the beacon.
I don't
that
really
you
know where
mentioned.
if that's where it is.
I mean, I'm hearing like a warble.
No,
But
everything
I'm not sure
drops
if I'd
out.
let that guide me home.
Do we want to spend time and find it real quick, or
Sure.
Yeah.
Zach, is your glasses prescription the wrong one? Is that what the problem is?
fuck?
How was your trip to Rico Fresh earlier?
It's pretty good. There's a guy in there who was yelling. He knocked some shit over when he was running out.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We had have I told you about face tattoo guy at work?
No.
There's a guy with a face tattoo, and when it looks like entirely women are working, he comes in and threatens us for free coffee.
Nice dude.
And he came in the other day, and I was the only one up front, and he was like, "I want a coffee," and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't give you a coffee. Would you like some water?" He's like, "No, I want a coffee." I said, "I'm sorry, I can't give you a free coffee. I can give you water." He's like, and he like storms out. And someone on the patio, kind soul, this man who had been there for a little bit, offered to buy him an iced coffee, which was so kind. Tattoo guy took it, sat on the patio, and then left it there without even unwrapping the straw. He just bullied someone into buying them coffee.
Weird.
Yeah.
I found something.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's not what I wanted, but it's pretty good still.
Is it in this song?
Yes,
Where?
it's at 2:35. We're just gonna talk about the horn instead,
Take
Okay.
me back to
because we haven't shown the horn yet, have we?
Nobody said
we
showing the horn
it
to their
was
ears.
The one that the rattlesnake one.
The zurna.
Yeah,
That
we
wasn't
talked
horn.
about
That was actually harmonica. I misheard it.
Will you reintroduce the bit that you'd like to play now at 2:30?
Yeah, let's do 2:35, and this is what the zurna sounds like in context with the music.
Let's hear
Pretty cool little-
in her heyday. I love how much it sounds like screaming.
It's a little more palpable, but still.
It is better when it's accompanied by other things.
It sounds sort of like an angry bagpipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good, right? This song is like, I don't know if anxiety inducing is the right word, but like really ominous. And I guess the lyrics sort of reflect that, like feeling like something's gonna pull you under, like you're in this big, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You're open water.
Water space. Taking it back to Finding Nemo.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
like a whole great big deal when the little children fish were pushed into open water.
Yeah,
How
a
would
lot-
they be supported?
A lot of this album feels very foreboding.
Yeah.
And sort of like there's impending doom on the horizon.
Maybe
Dark and spooky ocean.
maybe we gotta get King Gizz on the SSRI train.
I guess that's just what you write about when your country's on fire.
Yeah, well, ours is too.
soon? Yeah. The next one is a little more cozy, I feel like.
I agree.
Yeah.
I actually really like Sleep Drifter.
Yeah.
The words on it are like very comforting to me for some reason, because
Really
it's about like
wholesome.
kind of being in this limbo between like being half awake, drifting out to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
There is actually an acoustic version
Oh yes.
that I want to play first,
Yeah, you had this
or back to back.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and play it. That's quite nice.
And it is lovely, so nice.
I don't know about you guys, but I hate the way that my brain is when I'm like right about to fall asleep. I don't know if you guys get this, but I just become like extremely aware, especially if I'm like going to bed next to someone. It's like I almost I'm on this weird like feedback loop of like, you're almost asleep. You're almost asleep. Now you're awake because you're thinking about it. Go to sleep. Think
no.
about it. Maybe I'm just mentally ill.
Do you do the thing where you like do the math? You're like, if I fall asleep now, I'll get this much sleep.
A little
Oh,
bit,
If I fall
yeah.
asleep now, I'll get this much sleep.
Oh, I definitely used to do that a lot.
I like if I'm really exhausted right before I'm about to fall asleep, I know that I'm about to fall asleep because I can't remember like the previous 5 seconds of the thought train that I was just having.
Oh,
and then I'll be like, what was I just thinking about? Oh, I know I'm about to fall asleep. And it's blissful. That shit hits just right.
So, go ahead.
I think this song impressively like makes microtonal,
microtuna, really tiny little fishies.
It makes microtonal music like palatable to ears that are like
westernized.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's really impressive because a lot of Eastern music can be a little like unappealing or a little like jarring when you're so used to listening to stuff that like resolves like nice and neat. So when stuff doesn't resolve perfectly, you're just kind of like, oh, almost there, but not quite. It's like it's like a sneeze that doesn't quite come out. You know what
I never thought about it that way. Yeah.
But I think this song finds a way to, I don't know, westernize.
It almost sounds like surfy.
Yeah.
Which,
it's cool.
like, rather than ominous or I don't know, just like uncomfy. This one has a groove to it.
So did you guys think he was talking about falling asleep? Because whenever I interpreted it, it sounded like it's like you're waking up and just in that haze.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Which is much more enjoyable, in my opinion.
Well, because I'm on SSRIs now, and they're still fucking my whole shit up because it's only been 3 weeks. Yeah. Every morning I wake up more anxious than I've ever been in my entire life.
Oh my God, I felt that. Well, I feel like when I was first, because all of us at the table are on SSRIs, but when I was first prescribed, I feel like I would wake up and I would have like maximum like 10 seconds of bliss. Of pure, like, rested bliss, and then it would hit.
Yeah, dude, my anxiety has never been worse than, like, when I wake up and my brain starts, like, scanning all of the things that I have to do that day.
Yeah.
And then I take my pill and I feel real good.
Pats for Patrick. Sorry, I don't know why I thought that. We should do more SpongeBob references in our show.
Yeah, Logan.
But I wasn't good, though.
Logan never watched SpongeBob.
No, my parents wanted me to play outside.
Please tweet at Logan all the SpongeBob references.
I get them now because I've seen them all enough.
Let's talk about this next one. This one sounds a lot like it would be on that psychedelic western.
This
album.
is like the most Australian title too.
This sounds like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah,
but if King Gizz wrote the soundtrack.
I love that. Listen, I'm not saying that microtonal music sounds bad, but I will put something out there. It does sound a little bit like someone who's learning how to play guitar and is like fucking it up a little bit. Or like maybe it's not quite in tune.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
It's like unsweetened yogurt.
Yeah.
You're like, I know this is going to be delicious. And then you tuck into it and you're like, what the fuck? It's tangy and not sweet. And you look at the label and you're, fuck, I bought original.
Yeah. It's just a little bit off.
It's just yeah.
Not that it doesn't have a place. You know, regular yogurt goes great in a bunch of Indian dishes, but you're not going to just eat it with a spoon. You kind of need it with a bunch of other ingredients to make it palatable.
I think the merit of this podcast and our individual music tastes is that there's a little bit of overlap, but we have our niches that do not intersect at all. And this is definitely an album that is very Zach and not Sarah or Logan.
Have you guys listened to any other microtonal stuff?
No! Are you kidding me? I'm 22 and I'm bisexual.
Well, I didn't get into it till this album, but there's like a couple other bands. There's an EDM, not EDM, they're like electronic, called Sevish, and they use all the other crazy type of microtonal that isn't 24 equal tone temperament. It's just kind of nice to listen to something a little different.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly different. I don't think I ever would have listened to this had we not had this podcast, which it's great. I'm glad I'm dipping my toes into something fun and new. Will I continue to listen to it? Probably not. I'm going to be honest with you. But
can I have you say that again, but on a lie detector?
a lie detector. We'll roll that out from our storage closet in front of our live studio audience. Thank you guys for being here today. So we're hooking me up to the lie detector now. Logan, will you be the lie detector?
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
like make
Just
beeps or something.
Wendy's line.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
So I am, grateful that we're here.
Beep, 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 beep.
But I'll probably never listen to this again.
Beep, 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 beep.
And I am going to go get another beer.
Do it.
Well, that one.
See, that one checked out.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll be right back. Doom City, Doom City, Doom City, back with another beer. Doom City, come on, baby, do a cheers. Doom City.
Remix. This is a good tune. This one's actually
We didn't skip Anoxia. Well, we did.
Oh, we did skip
mentally
Anoxia.
skip it.
I just wanted to say that I like when I figure out new words when we do this.
Yeah.
And anoxia is a new word I learned. It's the medical definition of absence or deficiency of oxygen reaching the tissue.
Will you use it in a sentence?
The victims died of anoxia when the fire depleted all the oxygen in the room.
Okay, you had that ready.
Well, that's what the song's about.
Oh, fuck you.
One of my friend's brothers growing up had this like deep held belief that you could only die by the lack of oxygen to your brain. And
you couldn't die of anything else?
Yeah, he was like, the only way, like if you get your arm cut off, you would bleed out, but you would die because that blood isn't getting oxygen to your brain. Anyway.
I guess that, like, where do you think you is in your body?
I'm a fucking wiener, dude.
Nice.
Jesus Christ. For those of us playing along at home, Zach just clapped his two hands together and they did a high five.
We can't touch each other.
They don't know. I could make Logan high five me for awful things.
Yeah, that would do it.
Anyway.
Logan, Imagine Dragons is so good.
No. I didn't clap for that one.
Oh my God, Logan. Don't you think that Zach is a big stinky poo-poo? Hell yeah, brother.
Nice Hulk Hogan impression.
That doesn't sound like Logan's hand. I'm going to put you back on the lie detector.
Shit, fuck.
This one's kind of dark and sad. We're going to skip it.
Can we go to
Yeah, we can go to
This one's not dark or sad.
Yeah. No, this one is also dark and sad.
I forgot.
The guitar line's so heavy. Let's play that intro right quick.
Oh, for sure. That's kind of fun.
Yeah,
That's kind of fun.
I think microtonal guitar was made for heavy guitar riffs.
That one kind of rips.
Yeah,
that one kind of rips.
This one is about something kind of interesting. Stu wrote this when he was inspired after visiting Beijing. Because the pollution in the air was so thick, the sun rarely is seen. When it does, people come out and take pictures of it. So he wrote about this doom city. Flying Microtonal Banana.
Title track.
Let's bring it home, baby.
I think Nuclear Fusion is like a really strong track on the album. It's like what the album artwork looks like, because there's like a nuclear guy or a guy playing to a snake that's coming out of a
snake.
Yeah, coming out of a nuclear waste bucket.
Yeah.
It's a super strong track, super good. And then they go to this instrumental, which is like, it's fine. I don't hate it. I don't hate anything about it. But it does kind of wrap it up nicely, so I don't know.
Well, did we mention that Flying Microtonal Banana is what Stu McKenzie calls his guitar?
Yeah, because it's big. I don't know if we mentioned it. We are now.
Yeah, well, I think it's important to mention at this point because this is an instrumental track predominantly featuring guitar.
That's true. And named it after the guitar. I guess I like it better now when you think about it that way.
How adorable is that?
Yeah.
So I think it's just a nice little homage to the instrument that inspired the album.
Should I play a little bit?
Yeah.
It definitely feels like Like the end credits.
Yeah, like you just beat the video game and.
Or like you're watching and you reach the end of the movie.
I gotta say, in the spirit of album review, in the spirit of album ReBrews and our neglection of investigative journaling, deep hitting investigative journaling, I'm reading right now that this is the only track on the album to not use the Flying Microtonal Banana guitar. So we're the internet's #1 most trusted music podcast.
We only speak the truth. If Album Bruce says it, it is now fact.
Oh my lord!
Oh my god!
It's still a microtonal guitar, right?
It is, but this song doesn't use it.
We're gonna have to update this podcast in like the show notes, kind of like a New Yorker article where it's like actually instead of yellow, the guitar was pink, as proven per this article, and also.
If we're gonna do that, I'm gonna do one right now. Back to our bonus episode. Back to the Future 2 did not come out in 1973. I just want to let our listeners know.
Pretty sure we sussed that out immediately after you said it.
Do we have any more dirty laundry to air?
I already told him about the mustache.
Yeah, we got the mustache in.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah,
cool.
We're good.
Other than that, we've been honest with you guys.
If you have anything to come clean to us, you can tweet us at Album Brews.
Yeah.
You know, just so we're all being honest.
Yeah. We also have an Instagram at Album ReBrews.
True.
I'm on there all the damn time. I'm so online.
How are we doing on time frame?
We could probably come up with a little ReBrewski.
Let's come up with a little ReBrewski.
What do you guys have in mind?
Hey, folks, after some deliberation, we figured out just exactly what the heck we're going to do with our album ReBrew this time. Our ReBrewski. Man, the wheels really fell off the gosh darn wagon at the end of this one.
Logan, you're sober.
Yeah, but
he's high on Monster from an hour ago.
I think the problem is Zach and I decided that the problem is right now we're crashing from our Monster Energy high.
That's probably true.
And
I've supplemented it with like a beer and a half.
Goodness gracious, we're just really slumping.
It's all right, because we've come up with an incredible ReBrewski for
Flying
Microtonal Banana.
Which is?
Can we tell us what it is?
Absolutely. If the members of King Gizard and the Lizard Wizard could, at your leisure, come collect your ReBrewski, you've won the ReBrewski for most likely to induce didgeridoo. I'm here all week.
Thanks for tuning in this week, guys. Big thanks to Log, our resident engineer, making all my vowels sound very crisp.
But not when you bump into the mic.
Yeah. And big thanks to Sarah for doing our social media. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Album Brews.
I want to say a big thank you to our boy Zaccy for picking the album and taking the time to
and drive into the Splains just for this beer and not the Geck Tree.
Not the Geck Tree.
Yeah. Anything you guys want to plug in specific?
I don't know. Just thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow us, like Zach said, at Album ReBrews on Twitter and Instagram. We also have been thinking about having you tweet at us with hashtag ReBrewThis or slide into our DMs if there's something that you'd like to hear. An album, a drink. We're open.
We'll
open.
tell you whatever you want to hear.
We're people pleasers. Other than that, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.